Alright, so we have got to talk about this because this has got to be the biggest backtrack in the history of backtracks, okay? Like, if you needed proof that Sonic had really turned his reputation around in 2022, this is it, okay? Because, like, regardless of how you may feel about certain individual projects, I know I've got my own personal opinions, his reputation this year has been stellar, okay? And this is the ultimate proof of that. So we're getting into all this right now. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please make sure to subscribe. We are trying at 100,000 subscribers and hopefully 7,000 subscribers before DLC Frontiers comes out. So what am I talking about? For those of you who don't remember, which, come on, you remember, years ago, GameScoop, which is part of IGN members involved, 4 members including Brian Altano, made a video called SEGA Doubles Down on Sonic. Right, and you can see people responded. People were very upset. I think look, Sam made a video here. This was 6 years ago. It's a long time ago, right? And they said things. Okay, let me just summarize it. Okay, let's summarize it right now. It said here.
Okay, I think we're at the point where we need to admit that this was never really a great franchise, and that we keep trying to find this thing that was never really actually there.
Sonic was never good.
Yeah, it was a
25-year lie.
Yes,
it was like they re-released like Ecto Cooler this year.
You can watch the whole video if you want the whole situation, but basically they trashed Sonic for 6 minutes straight. Now, a lot of people are upset about this if you look at the comment section, even my bollocks in there. But yeah, I can't remember how I felt back then. I mean, to me, it wasn't the biggest deal because, like, I think the conspiracy, at the time, conspiracy was that IGN hates Sonic and they give Sonic bad scores and they give Mario good scores. So when you see something like this, some people that work at IGN, it's kind of like the confirmation of that, effectively, to some people. I mean, for me, it's a bit more complicated than that because if you look at the people here, they don't really review Sonic games, especially Brian Altano, who we're focusing on today. If you look, like, at his list of reviews, he barely reviews anything. This is like every single thing he's reviewed for IGN is like 6 games, right? But nonetheless, this is the kind of the issue you have with big companies. Like, they work on so many different things. They've got so many different employees that some people in there like Sonic and then some people don't. And it's just, that's how it is. There's multiple different variations of nerds working for these companies and not all gonna have the same opinion. So I understand that. And, you know, they've given Sonic fair scores, in my opinion, except for, like, Unleashed, really. I feel like they've been pretty fair with Sonic scores. But nonetheless, we're not here to talk about personal opinions. We're here to talk about Brian Altano. We got a video from IGN 20 hours ago, and it says here, sorry, but Sonic the Hedgehog was always good, right? And this guy here, which I recognize him from before, I think he done some other stuff from IGN, he grills Brian Altano, and Brian Altano basically just apologizes. It wasn't because he was being grilled, but like he really actually apologized for it. He clarified some things as well. It's not like he went and said Sonic is the best thing ever, but it was a very interesting point here. And you see people in the comments are really excited. Even someone said the Sonic Unleashed review will disagree, and IGN responded, that's fine, he hasn't worked here for 12 years, which, I mean, I guess it's trying to be like, insinuating like, oh, maybe you got rid of him. No, they didn't get rid of him because of the Unleashed review. If you look at Hillary Goldstein's review list, his last review was actually 2011, so it's not actually a full 12 years yet. But yes, this is the guy that did the Unleashed review. This is not the same Brian Altano that we're about to react to. It's a completely different person. But yes, the Sonic Unleashed review is here. If I can find it. Yeah, there we go, December 2008. And we can like search to see what other Sonic things he's done. He also reviewed Sonic 4 Episode 1, which he gave like an 8. So, it said Sonic is back. But yeah, essentially, let's get to the Brian Altano shit. Like, if you watch the first, you can watch the whole thing later on if you want. I'll link to it in the description. But most of it is just this guy grilling Brian Altano about the clips and playing the clips from before. So, we're going to watch Brian Altano's reaction to the situation here.
Many years ago, you know, I was actually going to be a dentist at one point, but here I am defending a little blue spiky demon, blue demon, asking you, Brian, why'd you have such harsh words about Sega's golden blue boy?
Well, first of all,
I could have been looking inside of mouths right now, but no, because of you, Brian, I'm here.
Let me apologize for a couple of things. The first is that you would be making so much more money right now.
I know.
The second is, you're right. I apologize. I think that when I said Sonic was never good, what I meant to say was like, to me, Sonic has never been like truly great, although Sonic had been consistently good many times before and since after. In 2016, when I made those comments, it wasn't exactly the best era for Sonic. We hadn't gotten Mania yet. We hadn't gotten this new era that we're in now. We didn't get.
Okay, so you talk about 2016. I want to just clarify that for a sec because we can see that this video was posted July 2016, and I believe Mania was revealed. Was it August 2016? I just want to clarify that because he said we hadn't gotten Mania, but we did get the reveal trailer like probably a month later, if I recall correctly. I'm just gonna check that right now just to be exactly sure. Okay, announcement trailer from GameSpot. The machine. I clicked the wrong thing. 6 years ago, 23rd July, and this was 31st July. And this could be a re-upload though, to be fair. I made a video on it. Hold on. What did I say in my? What was the date in which I posted? Yeah, this is my first video talking about it. That was 23rd July. That's 31st. I mean, I don't know when they recorded it, but he said we hadn't gotten Mania. I don't know if he just didn't see the trailer, but it's clear that the Mania trailer had dropped before this video was posted, for the record. So, again, if they recorded it before, maybe a few weeks before, fair point, okay? But I just want to bring that up. But let's get back to the video at hand.
The Sonic movies. In terms of comparing him, it wasn't exactly the best era for Sonic. We hadn't gotten Mania yet. We hadn't gotten, this new era that we're in now. We didn't get the Sonic movies. In terms of comparing him to Mario, I'll defer you to SEGA, who did that first. That was their entire marketing for that character to begin with. Their entire marketing was basically like, this is what we have. We have blast processing, and Mario's fat ass walking real slow with his old dinosaur do not have those things, so they're going slow. But I will say this to the camera and to you particularly and specifically, Akeem, Sonic fans, I am sorry for saying that Sonic was never good. That was wrong. That was incorrect. I have since come around on that character. I have watched the movies with my kid and enjoyed them immensely. Sonic Frontiers is fun. I liked Sonic Colors. I liked Sonic Generations. I liked Sonic Mania. I actually was in New Jersey a couple years ago rummaging through some of my old trash that I had as a kid, and I found a t-shirt that I made in school in the 90s.
You said that he made, by the way. That he made. He didn't buy. He made.
That said, Sega does what Nintendo don't. And this is I'm a huge Nintendo fan. I've been on Nintendo voice chat for years.
You're not going back on there now.
Yeah, I know, they're never going to be back on. And I basically had a picture of Mario with the with the no smoking with a crossed out thing on it, and I went hard on that dude. And so like I was there. I bought Sonic 2 when it first came out. I bought Sonic and Knuckles when it first came out. I made that whole tower of Genesis peripherals that plugged into each other that people could hop over. It was like 4 feet tall.
Oh, the lock-on shit.
Weird plastic that plugged into each other. You're right. I was wrong. When I went on that show, I was remarking on what had been like a recent era, and what happened there is I ended up speaking on behalf of all of IGN, and that's unfair because by that point in time, IGN had published several very positive Sonic reviews across multiple platforms. I bought Sonic Advance on the Game Boy Advance. I enjoyed it. My thing with him was that I've never truly connected with his games in the same way I have with Mario, but that's okay. Because I think that, like, no matter what, something we can all agree on is that Sonic has been good, and it's Crash Bandicoot that's never been good.
Hey,
But before you dig yourself an even deeper hole,
Brian, what I'm about to do that? what I'm about to do that? Okay, hey, what I'm about to do that? Okay, let me leave it at that. But this is very interesting. He has backtracked on what he said, and I understand where he was coming from. Okay, I understand his point was that back in 2016 Sonic wasn't in the greatest of places. Now again, Mania reveal did happen around the time this was posted, but I don't know if they filmed it slightly before the Mania reveal trailer, although the IGN said they would have known about it, right? Maybe the Sonic related people in IGN would have known, I don't know. But the point is, pre-Mania reveal, pre-Forces reveal, what did we have in 2016? Fire and Ice? I mean, I actually enjoyed Fire and Ice, though. We had come off of Boom in 2014, Lost World in 2013. They had been fumbling the bag post-Generations. Let's keep it real. Like, it was a bleak period. Droughts. We had runners, which shout out runners. But it's clear that he used the emotions of that recent era, and those recent emotions clouded his opinions of the franchise. And this has happened to me as well. Like, post-Forces, I was very upset about Sonic, and it made me like not even feel like playing Sonic at all. Like, post-Forces, I played a lot less Sonic just because I was unhappy with the franchise, and it clouds how you feel about everything. Even though you got your favorite games or whatnot, I was playing less everything related to Sonic. It's a very weird thing. That's how the brain works at times, you know, for a lot of people. So he obviously took that out on this video, but because he works at IGN, it's like he's speaking for the company, which is what made it really bad, because he's allowed to have that opinion. But when you make it seem like the company has that opinion, the biggest gaming journalist, it's like the company is biased, which I don't think is fair. But as I've said, he doesn't even review Sonic games, barely reviews anything. So it's like he's doing these podcasts and these other IGN related things, but he's not even the one doing the reviews. So I don't think it's fair to say IGN as a whole was ever biased towards Sonic. I don't think that's a fair thing to say. I really have to say, aside from Sonic Unleashed, I don't think IGN has been majorly off with a Sonic review. Although they gave Neo Geo a 10 out of 10, which, okay, cool. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about this. It's good to see that Sonic's reputation has seriously improved. I mean, I'm guessing what happened here is, you know, the movies came out and he went to go see it with his kid and realized, holy fuck, like, this is really good, and saw the charm in Sonic once again. Then maybe got into some Mania, maybe replayed some Colors and Generations, realized that Generations was lit and Colors, well, some people like it, and he was just like, yeah, you know, actually, I was too harsh on him. You know, I was in the heat of that mid era, which was half of the meta era, just that middle drought period. Like, because the early part, you had like Colors and Gens, which people liked, and then the later part, you had like Mania. So it's like that middle part, like, oh, hella mid. But you know, he came around, and that's fair point to him. He wasn't pressured to do it. Like, this is 6 years later. Like, it's not like IGN said, retract your statements or we'll fire you. You just came out and said this. So for him to come out and say that when he didn't have to, it shows that he really means that, and I think that's a good thing to see. He even made a post here. This is from 2020, and it says, opinion. I trashed the Sonic movie trailer, and I already regret it. And he's talking about, you know, this is the first design. Remember, it was hideous. And he trashed it, and he said, who is Coolio? Which, come on, Brian, this is a flop. You were alive in 95. Like, you can't even be saying this shit. And he made this post that went semi-viral on Twitter, and then he was like, and then it hit me. That felt fucking gross. Why did I even do that? What did I even gain from amplifying such a miserably negative take for thousands of people to see? I don't want to be known for that. I probably won't even see this movie. That changed, you know, design change or whatnot. I don't even care if this thing is good or bad. At best, I'll be on a cross-country flight a year from now, and I'll see most of it out in the corner of my eye on somebody else's screen. You watch the movie on someone else's screen on the plane, won't even use your own screen. Damn, this man was really not in the mood for Sonic. I liked some Sonic games when I was a kid, but why does it matter if his first live-action movie looks weird or stupid? It's not even for me. I'm in my 30s. I'm tired constantly. I spent the last 30 minutes at my endgame screening thinking about when I could go to the bathroom. Yeah, I mean, those 3-hour movies, though. I'm about to see Avatar today. I'm feeling that. I'm like, shit, my bladder needs to be empty before I go in there. But anyway, what am I gaining from trashing this kid's movie anyway? Being critical of things is good. Analyzing why things work or don't work is necessary with all types of art. Calling out things that are problematic and confronting things that are reprehensible with deliberation and nuance is an important part of what defines us as humans. On the flip side, being mean just for the sake of it feels cheap and easy. Everybody should be allowed to dump a point or two in their own dickhead skill tree. Maxing it out feels as dirty and obnoxious as the rewards it yields. And it's one of those things where, like, even I say, like, sometimes when you're joking around with friends or fellow Sonic fans, you'd be like, Colors is trash or whatever. But it's like, I don't really think the game is trash. I just think it's not for me. It's not bad. I don't think it's great either. I think it's alright. But when you're in the heat of battle, you're like, fuck that mid shit. Like, you know, but when you're trying to be more objective, you're like, okay, yes, it has merits. It's just far from perfect, right? It's one of those things kind of thing. But yeah. He said, as a kid, I frequently dragged my patient, loving parents to some truly terrible films, yada, 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 you know, and he just mentioned a bunch of things. I didn't read the reviews because I didn't need to, or I didn't read them because I didn't read them when I was a kid. They're generally written by adults. Children don't care about what reviews say. They care about what other children say. Children think adults are basically an alien species. They also think teenagers are terrifying super children with cigarettes and cars. Everybody knows this. And yeah, I mean, I get what he's saying, right? When you're a kid, you're not too bothered about reviews. When 06 came out, which is still like my second favorite Sonic game, I didn't read any reviews for years. I genuinely thought everyone loved Sonic 06 when it came out, because everyone loved it before it came out, except for the people who were mad at 4Kids taking over the roles. But everyone seemed to think it was the coolest thing, and then it came out, And then everyone's like, it's not cool. But by the time I found out, I was like several years later, and I already loved the game. I was like, hold on a minute. People don't love 06? Like, that was part of the growing up. Like, oh shit. There was this major opinion about this thing. And in my own echo chamber of like me and my friend playing it, we thought it was fun. You know? But when you get older, you become a bit more cynical naturally because things let you down. The artists you grew up listening to start making stale music or mid music. And then the new artists you don't connect to as much as the ones you grew up with. Even the games that you like to play, they've changed their formulas and it's not like the ones you like from before. Everything becomes different and it can turn you into a cynic at times. And if you don't learn to be like aware of that, it's like it will start to eat at you. You know, like watching Sonic Prime, I did a review of Sonic Prime, you can check it out. Watching Sonic Prime, I'm like, yeah, this is clearly a kid's show, but I could have some fun watching it. But if I was a kid, this would have been the coolest thing ever. And even like we were talking about this on a podcast, but like we said Sonic Frontiers was going to be a lot of kids' SA2, like their first Sonic game that they're going to have like strong, fun memories with. And I can see that just looking at the game and experiencing the game, that for people growing up with this game, like I would be proud if that was my first Sonic game if I was a kid. I think you have the right to be proud. Not so much with Forces though, but with something like Frontiers, like yeah, you should be proud that's your first Sonic game. Like it's a good starting point, right? Doesn't need to be perfect. It's good. Like if you grew up with it, that's gonna be your perfect starting point. Everyone's got their first Sonic game, and a lot of people their first Sonic game is their favorite Sonic game. Not me personally, because Heroes is my favorite. My first was SA2, but you know, there's a lot of opinions, and when you're older it's going to be different. You know, it's just that's just how it is. And at the end of the day, things change. Things don't always stay the way you want them to stay, and you have to come to terms with that. But yes, Brian Altano has apologized. As for the other 3 people in the video, who really knows? Who knows how they feel? But it's a good backtrack. It shows that Sonic has really done a 180 when it comes to reputation this year, and I am proud of Sega for doing that 180. Do I love every single thing that's been put out this year? No. I got my critiques. I've got my rankings of what I love the most and what I didn't like as much. But at the end of the day, reputation-wise, they secured a W this year. They have, and this is further proof of that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. We got the biggest backtrack from an IGN veteran who's been at the company for well over a decade, I believe. Let me know if you're excited to see where Sonic goes in 2023. Hopefully that modern 2D game is still happening. And of course, a big shout out to all my channel members. If you want to become a channel member, you can click the join button next to the subscribe button. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Make sure to check out the non-Sonic channel. The link will be in the description. But that's all I have to say right now. So, Remy out.